Hey everybody, Kristen Bean here. I am doing this Facebook Live just outside of New Carlisle along Chicago Trail. This is Chicago Trail. There's our camera. Oh, look at that beautiful view this morning with the fog. Anyways, this house is just along Chicago Trail, and it is up for sale. It is the Haven Hubbard Farmhouse. It was built in 1860, and it is up for sale, as you saw from the headline, for $35,000, but there is a catch. The buyer has to be willing to put a lot of money into it and renovate it within 2 to 3 years. That's the catch, because it is kind of in rough shape. It has sat vacant for some time, but you can see it's absolutely gorgeous. So just talking with a representative from Historic New Carlisle and Indiana Landmarks, the original part of the home, which was just at the time a pretty traditional brick square farmhouse, so without the porch on it, without the solarium. It was built in 1860 by the Hubbard family. So they came here, Historic New Carlisle Executive Director Dana told me that the Hubbard family came here in the 1830s and settled here, and eventually built this house. They were farmers, and over the time they amassed 700 plus acres of land, so they would farm this area. So just imagine all of this was once farm field. And they built this house in 1860, and then in about 1895, the family, a son of the original Hubbards, added the front porch and the solarium and those leaded glass windows there at the top, and a lot of the beautiful Italianate style details, both exterior and interior. The interior is amazing. On the original part of the house, the beautiful wood floors, just beautiful wooden details and carvings on the inside. Through these green doors, there's another set of doors, and those doors have just beautiful glass that's etched glass, Italianate style, just beautiful decor. Later on, sometime around the turn of the century, maybe a little later, they added an addition on the back. And eventually the family donated the home and 700 acres of property to eventually be turned into was called the Haven Hubbard Memorial Old People's Home. And for years it was used as that, and then this house has sat vacant for a while. So people are asking, what is the catch? So the house is listed at $35,000. The catch is the buyer needs to be willing to put up a lot more money than that to renovate the house. And it does need a lot of renovation. So we're talking new electrical, new heating and cooling system, and probably a laundry list of other things that a vacant old house will need. It also has to be approved by Indiana Landmarks and, of course, the current owners, which is Greencroft. They've got a facility back there. So Mary's asking, how long has this house been sitting empty? I couldn't get an exact answer on that. I don't think anyone really knows, but at least for the last decade, maybe 2 decades is how long the house is sitting empty. The good news is it has pretty good bones. Indiana Landmark says that the roof has been pretty well kept, so there's no interior water damage that you sometimes see in old houses, and the bones are really good. Even that addition back there, he told me, the Indiana Landmarks representative told me, it would actually be more trouble to demolish it than it would be to renovate it. It's so well built. So it is a historical house, yes, and somebody said it's probably got to be renovated to historical code, and there will be protective covenants on the outside and parts of the inside to make sure certain things are preserved. Indiana Landmarks has also already done some architectural assessments and had some plans drawn up. So there are some ideas of things that a potential buyer could do. They've thrown out some things like maybe a bed and breakfast, maybe a restaurant, but whatever. The house is listed at $35,000. However, the buyer is going to need to have some know-how to renovate a house this large and this historic, and not only the know-how but the finances to be able to do it. But isn't it beautiful? Like, I love the solarium on the front. That was part of the renovation in 1895. Love those leaded glass windows up there at the top. And I'm told, when you sit on the front porch in the summertime, you can feel the breeze going back and forth. I'm going to show you the view too. So if you're sitting on that front porch, you can look out at just the farm fields and the beautiful rural area. Joanne is asking, is there any land to go with it? Yes. Indiana Landmarks tells me they're going to carve out about 3 acres of land to go with it. So you'll get the house. I believe there's a barn and some sort of like a tool shed or something back here that also come with it, and then 3 acres of land. So if you want to see the inside, go to WSBT.com or just go on air to Fox Michiana right now. You can watch our live stream on WSBT.com, or you can watch it live on Fox Michiana. This story will give you an inside look, because we went inside and looked around. That is coming up at about 8:30. So we want you to make sure you tune in and watch for that. And it is, like, the details on the inside are amazing. It is like great wood floors. The wood floors are actually in excellent shape, and probably wouldn't even need to be refinished. Indiana Landmarks told me they think maybe just a coat of oil and some cleaning. Okay, so somebody is asking what the address to this is. This is on Chicago Trail, just near Walnut. So we took, I can't remember what road we took, if it was 20 or 2, but then we turned on Walnut, and this is Chicago Trail, just outside of New Carlisle. The interesting thing was, I'm told Chicago Trail was an old stagecoach route. So stagecoaches would come up from Chicago and take this road all the way to Detroit. And when the railroad came through, things changed a little bit, but this was once a really, really busy road. And this used to be the town, I think, called Hamilton, eventually Hamilton Grove. So anyways, here's another look at the house. Just a beautiful house. Again, if you're just tuning in, this house is listed at $35,000, but there's a catch. The buyer has to have the finances and the ability to renovate it, because it is in a little rough shape. Indiana Landmarks has listed it, and they are working with Historic New Carlisle, as well as the current owners, Greencroft, to sell it and make sure that the buyer has a plan in place and kind of knows what they're doing. So that is the catch, but a beautiful house. A beautiful house. If you're interested, you can get your name on the list. I'm told there are some interested parties already, but nothing is final. So if you're watching and you're interested, you should contact Indiana Landmarks and get your name on the list. But again, $35,000, you just got to make sure you have maybe a couple extra $100,000, $100,000, maybe $200,000 to be able to renovate. It is a beautiful house, though. So if you're watching, make sure you tune in on WSBT.com. You can watch our live stream, or on Fox Michiana. We're going to have an inside look at this house coming up right at 8:30. And you can see the inside. We were able to go both in the inside of the original house and in the inside of that back portion. Karen and Mike says it could be a beautiful bed and breakfast. Yeah, I totally agree. There's that barn that would also likely be part of the sale, as well as 3 acres. Beautiful maple. I should add that it's about 4,500 square feet right now, about 22,000 square feet on the front portion, the original portion of the home, and then another 22,000 or so square feet on that back addition back there. And at one time it was used as part of the Haven Hubbard Memorial Old People's Home. So there is some more industrial type commercially type space on the inside. Isaiah is asking, what is the catch? Well, it's listed at $35,000, but like I said earlier, Indiana Landmarks is requiring whoever buys it to be able to have the finances, the ability, and the plans to be able to renovate it, and do that within protective covenants. They are going to have protective covenants on the outside and parts of the inside to make sure that certain things are preserved. Frank is asking if there's any type of grant from the state for buying it. That is a really good question, Frank, and I'm not sure. You know, Indiana Landmarks, though, has already done some things like drawn up architectural plans and come up with different parameters for whoever is buying it. And they have worked with a lot of historic homes, so they would definitely be the people to ask about that question. What's historic about it, Logan is asking. The home was built in 1860 by the Hubbard family. They came to this area in the 1830s, I'm told, and started a farming operation. At the time, they called this place, I think it was like something like, you know, when the original town was started, which is just a little ways from here. I think they called it like Hubbard Hills or something, Hubbard Hill. The town was later changed to Hamilton, and then Hamilton kind of faded after the railroad came through and made New Carlisle the stop. So this is on Chicago Trail. Somebody asked, what did she say the square footage was? The square footage total house is 45, hopefully I said 100, 4,500 square feet, 2,200 square feet on the original house, 2,200 square feet on the back part of the house, so 4,500 square feet in total. Yes, thank you, Kim, for correcting me. Right now it is listed at $35,000, but the catch is that you have to have a plan and the finances to be able to renovate the house. But it is a beautiful house on the inside. All right, I gotta get going soon because we've got a live shot coming up. Again, yep, it's on Chicago Trail, just outside of New Carlisle. And it is the Haven Hubbard home here, just outside of New Carlisle. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you watch WSBT.com. You can watch our streaming at 8:30, and we'll show you the inside. And then you can also watch at 8:30 on Fox Michiana if you just turn on your TV to Fox Michiana. Thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you later.